What's up? Raining and snowing here on Vancouver Island early March, and today we're going to be talking about my whole quiver of bikes from Giant. So I have 5 bikes with me right now: the Trance X Advanced, the OG Glory for Freeride, the new Glory Advanced, the Rain Advanced E+ e-bike, and my gravel bike, the Revolt X. Going to be diving into the specs, how I have them set up, componentry, some riding clips on each bike, and kind of just giving you guys a sense of what bike I ride for each type of trail, jump, feature, and just talking about my bikes in general. I've also just launched a brand new website where you can buy Giant bikes straight from my site, and you'll be entered to win a VIP prize package if you buy a bike through my website. Additionally, I have all Giant gear 20% off, so that includes pumps, accessories, tools, clothing, gear, everything store-wide, Canada, US, 20% off. So there's a link in the description below, so check it out. Starting things off, this is Giant's brand new downhill bike. So this is the Glory Advanced. It's a full composite bike from tip to tail, carbon rockers, carbon front triangle, carbon rear triangle. Really just like the pinnacle of performance with Giant right now. So I run a medium large frame, and what's super cool about these bikes is just how adjustable they are. So I'm kind of in the size range between a medium and a large, but you can move the fork forwards and backwards with these adjustable 5mm offset cups. So that's super cool. So I'm running mine right now in the long setting up front, just because I like a longer top tube for going fast and a bit more stability at speed. It also has a flip chip for the rear triangle. So I'm running mine in the low setting. And I'm also running this bike set up mullet. So it has a 29-inch front wheel and a 27.5 rear wheel. Allows me to flick the bike around a little bit better, a little bit more playful for my style. I'm not out here racing, I'm just having fun. And then the third adjustment the bike has is the chainstays. So you can run this bike in a long or a short setting. Right now I have it set up in the short, just because I like doing whips and a little bit more playful when you have the rear a bit shorter. So the componentry is going to be similar between all my bikes because I try and run continuity with spec on every bike. Starting things off, I have a Chromag cockpit, so I have the Chromag Fubar OSX handlebar, 1.8mm bar, along with the new Chromag Director stem, direct mount clamp stem. I'm also running the ODI grips, which are great, and then I'm running the SRAM Maven brakes. They're SRAM's newest brake. They're pretty sweet. I like to play around with brakes, try different things out here and there, but these are the ones I like the most right now. Up front, I have the Marzocchi 29-inch Bomber 58 fork. So this thing is basically a Fox 40, but all black, and it's given to us Freeride guys. Like all my bikes, I have Industry 9 wheels on this bike, and these wheels are bomb-proof. So this is kind of their toughest wheel set. These are the grade 300 wheels. So beefy sidewalls, beefy rim bead, and really meant for downhill and freeride. Laced to the Hydra 2 hubs. So again, the pinnacle of I9 right now. You can even see all these scratches on the rims. This is from me riding that big mountain volcano line and winging it. My rims got really scratched up, but I've been riding them for about 8 months since then, had no issues. Rear wheel's even worse, but no flat spots, no dents, just paint chips. And it really just speaks to the durability of these wheels, that you can just go hard on them and not really worry about them. Something new for me this year is the Galfer rotors. So I'm running Galfer on all of my bikes. These are the new Disc Shark rotors. So on this bike, I have dual 223 mil rotors, just because I ride pretty much only DH on this bike, and I like to have stopping power without the brakes overheating. So I have had no issues with fading with these. The best part is that they're just consistent from when you drop into the middle of the trail. Like, the heat doesn't seem to affect them as much as other rotors. On this bike, I'm running a Assegai DH casing up front. So that's a 29 by 2.5 Maxxis Assegai tire, and no insert in the front right now, though I am running an insert in the back. Moving to the back of the bike, I'm running a Maxxis Minion DHR2 27.5 by 2.4 DH casing with an insert. That's fine. Just feels a little bit nicer when you're mobbing through the chunder. Got the SRAM 7-speed derailleur and cassette. The OG, I've been running that setup for probably a decade. It's been pretty dialed. And these are super cool. These are the Forks cranks. This is a dude from New Zealand, a Kiwi guy who manufactures these cranks, and they're wicked. I've had a lot of problems with cranks breaking, and these ones have been awesome. Aluminum cranks, no carbon, because I don't really want to do that anymore. And yeah, they're sweet. Below that, got the Chromag Daga pedals. So Dagas are great. I run these on any bike where I'm not taking my feet off. So this is kind of like my go fast bike where I try to keep up with my racer buddies. And it's got big pins, huge pedal body, and my feet do not slide around. So big fan of these pedals. In the back, I got the Fox DHX2 shock with a 475-pound coil. I run this one just because it feels a little bit nicer than the Marzocchi one at high speeds. It also fits this bike a little bit better. This coil is a really nice option to have. Something I like to do with all my bikes is continuity. So I try and run the same parts on almost every bike. So you'll see me running similar pedals, same saddles, almost the same grips on every bike. And that just makes it easier to switch back and forth to bike. I do the bar widths the same, try and keep the stack height the same. And yeah, when you just ride bikes that much, being able to switch back and forth really helps when things feel the same. Next up is my OG Glory. So this bike's actually a 2016 model, same as the new Glory Advanced, except this is the one I run for just Freeride. It's a lot shorter top tube, shorter chain stays. Albeit this bike's a little bit too small for me, but it really gets the job done and is tough as hell for Freeride stuff. You know, I 360 off my roof on this bike, which is like a 35-foot drop. I've ridden Rampage on this bike. I've done pretty much everything gnarly in my career riding the Glory Advanced, and just a bomb-proof setup. It's really just a testament to the quality of Giants. So let's dive into this bike. I've had this bike custom painted by Fresh Paints of Whistler. They did a super cool job. I kind of wanted like a sponge pattern, just like a sponge swab. Pretty basic on this one. Usually I do airplane themed, but thought I'd mix it up. So I have 2 full years on this bike and she's still going strong. Almost ready to retire because I got a new one in paint right now. Beautiful paint. The boys killed it there. And got my event, RW Invitational. Aerosmith, that's a local bike shop. Shout out Aerosmith, building my bikes and helping me out. So this bike is full 27.5 front and back. It's a medium size frame, which is way smaller than the new mediums. Bikes have gotten much longer in the last 10 years. And yeah, starting off with the cockpit, same thing. Chromag Fubar OSX bar, director stems, keeping that continuity between bikes. This one I run the ODI Reflex grip, which is nice. It's a little bit harder than the other grip on my Glory. I got the old code RSCs on here. They're okay. I'm gonna get Mavens for the new bike when I build it up, but they're cheap, they're reliable, and they work good for a Freeride where you don't really need to worry about the brakes heating up that much. Up front, I have the Bomber 58 fork. It's a 27.5-inch fork, 200 millimeters of travel. And then attached to it, we have Industry 9 grade 300 carbon wheels. So I want to keep this bike super light for Freeride, keep the spinning momentum low, because if you're going to run anything light, you want light wheels. So front and back carbon wheels, no inserts. And For tires, in the front, I have the Maxxis Assegai double down, so a little bit lighter than the downhill Glory. Assegai is pretty much my go-to tire for every condition now, so. All right, moving back, we have a Chromag Overture saddle. Super cool that this one matches the bike. And again, we have the Fox DHX2 shock. It just works a little bit better for this platform. And I have a 600-pound coil on there that I've painted black to match the bike, but it's the Fox SLS. Super light steel spring. For cranks, I'm running on this guy, the North Shore billets. They've been pretty good. I don't like them quite as much as the Forks cranks, but they look really sweet, especially this like raw aluminum ones. And yeah, moving back, same deal. SRAM XO 7-speed drivetrain, pretty bomb-proof, although the new bike, I'm gonna switch to single speed. So on this bike, again, we have the Galfer Disc Shark rotors, super consistent braking, good bite. They really turn a pretty mid brake, like the code into like a really powerful brake. The back, I have the Dissector. So this is like my dry dirt tire. This is mostly a bike I ride in dry conditions in the yard, and I really like the Dissector. It's fast, it hooks up, and it's light. So I'm running that guy with a DH casing, just because, well, you can even see here, a little bit of wear. Yeah, straight in, that was probably like an over rotate on a spin drop that folded and scratched the tire and the rim. But DH casing is the move for this tire, for this application of riding. So this is a super cool bike. I run it as stiff as I possibly can. Tubeless, I run it about 35 PSI front and back in the yard, 600-pound spring. I think I have about 100 PSI in the fork with 4 or 5 tokens. So really it's meant for one thing and one thing only, just going big, slow rebound, lots of compression, and just being a solid platform to do tricks on, and so I can ride this type of stuff. Next up, I have the Trance X Advanced. This is definitely the looker of the fleet. It's my sickest looking bike, and this is stock colorway. This is the Ancient Ink colorway. It's available frame only in Canada as this color. Everyone's asking me like, where'd you get it custom painted? Like, no, it's stock. Looks awesome. Giant's really killing it on all of their colorways. Like, this is badass. It's like pretty minimal branding, just low key Trance X written right there, and a cool like chrome Giant head badge. So super low key, and I had the Industry 9 wheels anodized, dipped to match. So they're super cool. They're kind of like a brown acid wash camo. So I'll show you that in a minute. Another cool thing about this bike, it came stock with a 150 mil fork and 140 mil travel in the rear, but I put on a 10 mil longer Marzocchi Super Z fork and a 5 mil longer stroke shock. So it actually bumped this bike up to 160 in the front and 145 in the rear, just to give it a little bit more oomph for the type of riding I like to do. But they do sell that bike stock. It's called the Trance SX, and it's a slightly longer travel Trance, just like this one. Honestly, this is probably the best mountain bike Giant makes. Like, if you're gonna pick one bike to ride, it'd be this one. You can do everything on it. It's definitely the head turner of my entire fleet. Everyone's just like, damn, that thing is sick. It's really poppy, really playful, snappy, and it just mobs in a straight line too. So classic Giant Maestro suspension design. It works, it's proven, it's tested, and it's a really good just all around bike. So it's on the shorter side compared to like a Rain, but I'd always rather be underbiked than overbiked. Makes trails a little bit more playful. But yeah, this bike's amazing. Okay, well, that paint job just can't be beaten. It looks so cool. Got the Steezy Giant logo embossed into the front of the head tube. And this Ancient Ink colorway is just so cool. Again, this bike, super adjustable, has the offset headset. I'm running a large on this frame. and I'm running it in the middle, so 0 millimeter offset, so super adjustable again. Just look at that color. Looks so dope, especially in here. Some Indiana Jones style ancient ink, super cool. Have to swag on them, put the RW Invitational. July 15th to 18th, be there. But yeah, let's talk about this bike. Up front again, same cockpit as the other bikes. ODI reflex grips, Code RSC brakes, Fubar OSX 31 millimeter handlebar, and this one has a Chromag Hi-Fi stem. So the RZA and the Hi-Fi are both wicked. This is the V2 of that stem. Fox transfer dropper post. And I have a 160 mil Marzocchi Super Z fork, 29. This bike is mullet. And I'll show you all what you really want to see. Look at that hub. Industry 9 Hydra 2, custom dipped hub, acid wash to match the frame. Same with the spokes. Spokes are all acid wash too. Got the Galfer Disc Shark rotors on this. We got front and back 200 mil rotors on this bike. These are the Industry 9 Enduro 300 wheels, so an alloy wheel. I run an insert in the back and none in the front. And again, I have the Assegai 2.5 by 29 tire in the front. It's spec'd, it's the go-to. I don't like messing with a product once I find a good one, so really pumped on that tire. Moving back, we have the Chromag Overture Saddle Liaison series with a Fox transfer dropper post. Another really cool thing about these Giants is look at this storage compartment under your water bottle holder. Open that up, put all your stuff in there, sandwiches, tools, whatever you want. That just clips right back on. Also composite, super cool. Put that back like there, easy. I got the Bomber Air shock on this bike. I opted to go with an air shock just because it's lighter and I want to keep this bike really light and playful. A lot of the trails in the IMO are pretty smooth and fast and jumpy, so I like to have the air shock. North Shore billet cranks, 160 mil crank, Chromag Daga pedal again, long pins, feet are not sliding around. In the back, we have the SRAM Eagle 12-speed drivetrain, the new transmission. This thing's pretty sweet, definitely good bang for your buck. I don't know if I'd buy the wireless one, but this really does the job. Same thing in the back, 27.5-inch Industry 9 Enduro 300 wheels. This guy got a Maxxis Minion DHR2 double down with the tubeless insert inside. So this bike is dope. Really, really fun bike.
Now, easy, as it really happened, yeah. Keep it down, that's all I have to say. The best.
Okay, this is the Giant Rain Advanced E+. So this is the bike I spend more time riding than any other bike. I know there's a lot of e-bike haters out there, but it's just because you haven't tried one. It's such a fun bike. It's a downhill bike with a motor pretty much. So 180 mil fork in the front, 170 mil travel in the back. I set it up mullet. It's got a big battery, big motor. This thing is a sled. It's definitely the best descending bike I have. I personally just love the way e-bikes ride too. Like they have that low slung weight. You can ride everything from like super steep technical to big free ride jumps. And hell, I even jumped off my roof on this bike like 3 or 4 times. So it's just a wicked bike. Full carbon fiber, front and back, composite rocker. What else can I say? Let's dive into the details. All right, starting things off, we have this new digital screen at the top of the top tube. So this is where you can flip through settings. You can get all your power mode, sport, active, tour, eco, and then from here, you can just click on the remote and you can change to see the bike's different settings. So go from speed to range, distance ridden, trip time, cadence, odometer, and tire pressure. So this is my favorite feature of the digital screen. I'm a tire pressure nerd for sure. It has built-in Bluetooth tire pressure sensors, so you can see it Bluetooths from these little sensors here and here and straight to the top tube, and it'll warn you when you get low tire pressure and if you need to pump it up. So I really like that feature. And starting things off at the front of the bike, I have the ODI Reflex grips again on the 31.8mm Chrome Mag Fubar OSX, along with the new RZA Chrome Mag stem, so I'm running that one with 40mm reach. Down below, I have the Marzocchi Super Z fork again, set to 180mm travel. I run this pretty stiff. I run about 95 PSI in this with 3 volume spacers. And then I run the high speed and low speed compression about half. So I fiddle around with these a lot depending on what I'm riding and the temperature, because that makes a huge difference with the compression and the suspension. E-bikes are heavy and they can eat wheels. So this bike I have with the Industry 9 grade 300 carbon wheels, and obviously the rainbow spokes. Pretty cool. I just like to do them so they pop a little bit more. And people are like, oh yeah, those are i9. Ask a guy. 29 by 2.5 front tire, 3C max grip. I run that casing, or correction, that compound on every one of my bikes, the max grip, and double down casing in the front. Insert front and back on this bike. Let's move back a bit. We have the Fox transfer wireless post. So this thing's pretty cool. Fox hooked me up with it. Works pretty nice. The Chrome Mag Overture saddle, same deal. I like that continuity between all the bikes. And I run the Marzocchi Bomber Air shock on this bike. I think I have 3 volume band spacers in it. And again, I'm always fiddling with the compression switch. It's like just like a climb switch between soft and firm, but depending on when I'm riding and the temperature, I'm always playing with it. This bike, again, I have the Forks cranks, but I'm running really short ones, 155mm, because I have this bike set up mullet, and I also have it in the low setting. So this bike's adjustable, just like the Trance X and the Glory Advanced. It has the adjustable head tube, and this bike's a large, and I'm running it with a 0mm offset. But since I'm running it in the low setting, you'll definitely hit your feet on the ground a lot, so I like running really short cranks. So 155mm is a really nice compromise. I don't really notice any difference in terms of like power output, nor would I really care, but I just don't like hitting my feet on the ground. Same thing again, Chrome Mag Daga pedals, super spiky, and the same Eagle 12-speed transmission. So yeah, this bike is wicked. Something different about this Giant compared to all the other ones is that the Maestro linkage is actually inside the frame. So typically this rocker link sits outside, but they moved it to the inside to just make the bike stiffer and make the rear end stiffer and kind of handle and feel more like a downhill bike, and it definitely does. It doesn't have the ability to like twist anymore because it's sitting inside the frame and sandwich, so it really makes the rear end super stiff. I just flipped the bike upside down for a minute to show you guys this. So this is a titanium skid plate, so this thing's wicked. Protects your motor, protects all the electronics, and if you hit a rock, it sparks. But no, that's a huge upgrade from bikes that don't have that, where it's just plastic and you'd blow through it. So big fan of that. Protects your investment. So this bike also has the Yamaha sync drive motor. So it's, I believe, a 90 Newton meter motor and a 480 watt hour battery. So you get a lot of riding out of this. And they also have a battery extension pack that you can mount on the water bottle holder to get even more range. I haven't needed to use it yet. I'm usually tired before the bike's even worn out. They upgraded the Rain E Plus this year to a 48 volt system. So that just means better power management, better use of the power. So it's a little bit more efficient and reliable. Man, I love e-bikes. I ride this bike more than any other bike. You know, if my friends are working and I gonna ride solo, pop the headphones in, I can just go crush laps. And I grew up riding to go downhill, hit jumps, have fun, not to be the best at exercising or pedaling. So fitness is a sweet byproduct of mountain biking, but it's not why I ride. So if I can choose between pedaling up and riding the e-bike so I can go down more, always gonna choose the e-bike. So this is the Revolt X. So this is the gravel bike from Giant. It even has a suspension fork and a dropper post, obviously. If I'm gonna run a gravel bike, it's gotta have that. It's gotta be almost a mountain bike, but super fun bike. I just got this bike last year. I've never had a gravel bike before then, and never was really my thing, but dude, they're so much fun. Like, it's so much easier pedaling than a mountain bike. They go super fast, and I bring this thing camping all the time if we're going to the beach, or in the winter. If I am trying to get some fitness in, I'll ride this on fire roads or going to scope building trails and stuff like that. So when I go flying and camping out in the bush, I like throwing this bike in the back of my plane. I'll bring my fly rod so I can pedal on fire roads to streams to go fly fishing. And yeah, it's a really versatile bike, so let's check it out. All right, starting things off up front, got a giant stem and drop bar. I don't know much about gravel bikes, so bear with me. I also got the giant light because I always find I'm riding home from fishing in the dark. Cool little suspension fork, and then these really cool Industry 9 GRX gravel wheels. So had to ball out and go with the Industry 9. These are GRX 245s, and look at these tires. They're friggin' huge. Like, you think they'd be a road bike tire, but these things are massive. They are Maxxis Ramblers 700 by 50C tires. Super grippy. This thing rips, man. It's like a mountain bike. The X models come with alloy frames and the Chromag lift saddle, so obviously a little bit different than the Overture. And same deal on the back. Got a light, which is great for riding home from the beach or fishing at night or whatever. Dropper post too, just a little guy. These are the only clipless pedals I've ever ran. These are the Chromag Pilots. So, also Chromag, we have to have a conversation here. That should have been a signature model for me, not a clipless pedal, but the Pilot. Let's talk about it. 1x drivetrain and another 50C tire in the back, another Maxxis 50C Rambler. This bike is sweet, really fun for exploring. It kind of just something different that, you know, is fun. Kind of always thought gravel bikes are like the wrong tool for the job, you know, they're basically a road bike with knobby tires, and that's what kind of makes them fun, you know. You get out and ride like a green mountain bike trail that you would normally never ride, and it makes it challenging, so that's super fun. Well, those are all my bikes. Thank you for watching, and go check out my new website, reesewallace.com. From there you can see a giant tab, and it'll have all of my giant bikes listed that you can buy, and I get a tiny kickback on those, so I appreciate any support. And the gear page, again, 20% off all gear. Scroll through, bunch of wicked picks in there. Chain cleaners, lubes, lights, accessories, gear parts, everything. Thank you everyone, and we'll see you on the next. Peace.